We're back.
We're
I don't know if
back.
you're
Yes, yes,
back again.
yes. Also, I just
And
noticed, and I don't know if this is like a new thing, but
yeah.
so I started the recording, and obviously the
Uh-huh.
thing pops up at the beginning that says, like, you don't have any video source, and then I have to click
Right.
yes, like I want to continue. But now, like on the left hand side of my screen, because I'm still on like OBS, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is a good way to tell if it's working or not too. But like your icon for Discord and your name is up there and mine is too, and it's like blinking or like it lights up every time one of us is talking.
Huh. Well, I guess that's a good thing, so we won't have any
Yeah.
incidents of it not
And
recording.
obviously, yeah, and I can see my mic is working because the thing's moving and yours is, but I've never seen that happen.
New things
New things.
about that.
Yes.
But what are we talking about today? What
Uh,
what month do we find ourselves in?
Pride Month.
Cut
Happy
off there a little
Pride.
bit for me. I don't know.
Happy
You good?
Pride Month for everybody.
Yes.
All
Happy
you
Happy Pride
homophobes,
Month.
happy Pride Month.
Exactly. Especially to y'all.
Especially because I feel like
Do lame. Lame.
maybe, who knows, but those people are probably feeling a certain type of way themselves and they just don't
Uh-huh.
admit it yet. And that's okay. One day they will.
Hey. Hey. But we don't support any of that
Oh, no, no, no.
BS.
No.
We're not about the homophobia. So if you're
Bam.
listening to us, go away.
Go away. Leave. We don't want
Go
you
away.
here. Um,
I'm literally that one meme where it's like wishing all the homophobes a super uncomfortable month.
yes. Yes. Yep.
But
I just,
yeah, we found ourselves in Pride Month, the month of June. This year is flying by.
it really
It's
is.
crazy.
The fact that it's already June.
Yeah.
You have
I
lots of
mean January dragged and then after that
I
the
blinked
year
and
has just
it's
been like
June.
sprinting. Like
Yes. Always makes me nervous when it does that. I don't know why.
yeah.
I'm just having a midlife crisis at 30.
God.
It's like it's hitting me all at once.
It's like we are in a midlife now.
Are we? Yes. Yes.
I mean, they say midlife crisis is like 25, but I think it's like that's too young, in
That's
my
too
opinion.
young.
I think 30 is like more appropriate. I think like 25, well, 25 is when your um frontal lobe is like developed.
Yes.
So like I feel like that's like the start of like you being an actual adult.
Yes. And 25 is like when you feel, oh, I'm getting close to 30, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not too midlife crisis like, but when you hit 30, you're
Mhm.
like, oh, do I
Us
have
old
my
ladies
shit
would know.
together? No. But
Oh man.
what do we want to talk about? Well, we could talk about everything privately.
True.
Um,
True, true, true.
but let's start off. You can take the reins on this one.
True.
But Paris
Because
is
I
Burning, yes,
did,
you did
yeah,
recommend
I
it.
did bring up.
Yeah,
I had watched this. I mean, obviously it's a documentary. Came out in 1990. Let me have the Google page up so that I'm not just pulling things out of the sky.
yeah.
But I had watched this a couple of years ago. I actually watched this before I got into Drag Race,
Oh
and
yeah,
then that's why I think I was like, I think I had watched it like now it's been like 2 years ago. It came out in 1990,
yeah,
and I just stumbled across it, and I think it was on um like HBO had it because it's been on HBO for a minute, so I
yeah.
think HBO had like I'm pretty sure I did watch it during Pride Month like 2 years ago, and they had like a Pride collection. And I was like, oh, what's this? And then I
Yeah.
just put it on, and it was really good and really informative. And then
Oh yeah.
after I had got into Drag Race, I noticed all of the like references and things that
Oh
came from it,
yes.
like
Yeah.
lingo and like culture and all of that. And I was like, wait, I remember that from that
And
documentary. So
see,
that's why I
I'm
brought
like
it
the
up
opposite of
to
that.
you.
When I was
Yeah.
watching the documentary for the first time, I
Uh-huh.
and I'm seeing everything. It's like, oh, that's on Drag Race. And I was like, oh well, this came first, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah. The nostalgia
Yeah,
of it,
so
like, you're like, "That came
oh,
from
I
this,"
know.
and you're like, "Well,
Yeah. I mean, this is basically like a time capsule of like, well, it says filmed in mid to late 1980s because it does go
yes."
through. I mean, it shows 19. I think the only timestamps on the documentary itself are 1987 when it starts, and then later on it goes to 1989. But I don't know how wide. It just says mid to late
Yeah.
80s for the filming. So like, it's a lot of times with documentaries, they can be filmed over like the course
Years,
of like
yeah.
multiple years. Um, but just a little background. It came out in 1990. It was made by, directed by Jenny Livingston as her name, and she's best known for it. I don't think she's done anything else. I mean, it just says she was best known for doing that documentary. And then it says it's filmed in the mid to late 80s. It chronicles the ballroom culture of New York City and the African American, Latino, gay, and transgender communities involved in it, in New York City specifically.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
when you hear them on Drag Race talk about like New York drag, like this is like the foundation of
Oh, yes.
New York
Yeah.
drag. And this says critics consider the film to be a valuable documentary by the end of the golden age of New York City's drag balls and a thoughtful exploration of race, class, gender, and sexuality in America. So it's like a quintessential, like when they bring up like queer filmmaking and especially like during Pride Month when they say like Pride essentials, like this always does come up in conversation
Yeah.
because there's so much culture involved in it.
Yes.
And I did have up I was just writing like a bunch of notes, so I picked up like the things specifically. So I mean, when you're talking about like a ball, how would you like describe it? Like it, to somebody that doesn't know like what a ball like
I
is?
don't know. Oh, because, like, when you look at what they do in Drag Race, like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I
it
guess
is,
it's
but
like
it isn't. Like, I guess Drag Race
yeah,
as a whole is what Ball is as a whole,
true, true.
but, like,
But I mean,
underground,
I guess
like
drag is like more so like the yeah. This was like done underground, almost like
mhm.
secretive. Like I don't think they were. It wasn't something that was like being advertised. It was
Oh,
just like
no.
if you were in the
No.
community, you knew
You
about it. Well,
knew.
because they were afraid of being like, who knows? Like that. This was like the '80s in New York, so like it wouldn't even have to be like. I mean, the police would probably use every excuse to like rate it, being like, oh, they have alcohol or they have this or blah blah blah, or they're doing this after certain
Yeah.
hours, like a curfew. You know what I mean? So like everything was very like under the
Oh,
radar,
yeah.
and I mean, I guess it's part like a dance competition, part fashion show is the best way
Yes.
I can
That's
describe it to
from watching it,
people that
that's what
don't
it looked
know.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have like I mean they call it like the ball, like everything is called the ball, but it's really like they'll have them doing like voguing is like a big thing,
Yeah.
and I've heard of that before too. We heard that through like Michelle Visage talks about it and RuPaul talks about
And
it, but
Madonna.
and well, it comes from Madonna,
Yep.
obviously the song
Yep.
Vogue, but it's like a form of dancing. There's a lot of
Yes.
like low kicks on the ground, a lot of hand movement, a lot of
Yep.
hand choreography, I would say.
Yes. Yep.
And then there's other parts of the ball that they show where it's like basically like fashion shows. So
Yes.
they'll say, I guess this is where again everything this time around when I was watching it was a lot of like what you said, like, oh, I get that, remember that from Drag Race. I've seen
Yep.
this in Drag Race where the like category is, and then
Yes.
like
And
they use the word eleganza,
yeah,
realness, you know, like
extravaganza.
exactly. So it just goes to show you, like, probably like I mean,
Yeah,
if
and there
this was in
was
the
yeah.
'80s,
And then
RuPaul
there
was
was
already doing
oh
drag by
yeah.
then. So
And
I can
the
only imagine how much this influenced it.
yes. And the one person they were like chasse, chasse, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, Drag
Uh-huh.
Race.
Yeah.
Everything just comes back to
I'm
Drag Race.
I know. I know. Cause when did the song CoverGirl come out? Cause I feel like that definitely used the when RuPaul was like, "You better work, CoverGirl." Cause that had Shantae, Sashay, Shantae. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of when that.
sachet. Um
Hold on, like the first supermodel. That's what it's called. I'm searching CoverGirl, and it's not true.
oh, it's not called CoverGirl?
No, it's called Supermodel.
Oh,
or like you better work. Remember because
Oh
remember
yeah.
that meme with the Trixie and Jujubee where she's like, I thought it was one version of the song, and then he pulled out the whole long version where it's like, once upon a time,
Oh
like a
yes.
little black
Yep.
girl in the Booster Project. Yeah, it's called Supermodel, and then in
In
parentheses,
parentheses,
you
you better
better
work.
work.
Yeah, 1992 it looks like.
Okay, okay, so that came out. That's 2 years after Paris is Burning,
Yep.
and then it literally says. The song consists of RuPaul giving advice to young black supermodels and briefly several other models, largely consisting of sashay, shantay, work, turn to the left, now work to
Yes.
the right, you better work. Yeah. Singer Kurt Cobain. Huh.
Really?
Right. Singer Kurt
Mm.
in 1993, singer Kurt Cobain cited this song as one of his favorites of the year. How
No,
about that?
that's amazing.
Well, I mean, now I'm about to. Have you ever seen? I think I showed you. It's a picture and people are like, "This looks like a Renaissance painting." It's like RuPaul, Kurt Cobain, and in the picture, RuPaul is holding his daughter, like holding like
Oh
little
yes.
like yeah, and then it's Dave Grohl is on the other
Dave
side, the
Grohl,
guy from
nice. Yep.
Yeah. I'll probably use this as one of the pictures to post just because it's iconic, but it's like little I think Frances is her name. I want to say
Yeah.
his daughter
Frances
that's married to
Bean.
Tony Hawk's son, which is kind of
Yeah,
crazy
her
to
middle
think
name is
about too.
Bean, which is also wild to me.
Yeah,
That's
but
pretty
it's just a
funky.
picture of RuPaul like she's crying and RuPaul's holding her and dragging, and then you just see them like it's a great picture. Looks like a Renaissance painting in
Yep.
my
Yep.
opinion, but it doesn't. Oh man.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, I have a bunch of things that I just wrote down. Like the obviously with reading, the library's open, that comes from this.
Yeah.
They didn't dedicate as much of it to it that I've thought they did, but they basically like said like they broke it down like, oh, if you're reading someone, like what the I love how it was
Yes.
like a moment of like learning there. They're like, well, when you read someone, you're telling them about their
Er,
outfit or their hair's bad or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But then they said a more sophisticated version of it came from shade. So they said they started to call it shade, and then they were like,
Yeah.
no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade, like all that.
Yes, and the
The
one
shade
scene
came
where
from reading.
I forget they were just doing like the interviews on the street and she called the one guy like a giant orangutan or something.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah, oh
"Wait."
yeah.
That's like to me that is equal to when Lydia was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan." Is what Mistress would say if she was dressed as an oscillating fan. It gives out the same energy. Oh, it's
Shout out to
so great.
Lydia B. Collins.
But
Lydia
oh,
Buffalo Collins.
oh, Collins.
And spoilers for All Stars, but now we get to hear RuPaul say it even more.
Yes, love it.
Oh my god.
I
Oh
just
god. But I also I picked up on the one I think it was one of the guys that was judging like that's also where I think the whole thing of drag like this the wheels must have been turning for RuPaul when
yeah.
he watched this because then you have the people at the mic like basically just like and how brutal but they're basically just like screaming the critiques like into the mic
Oh, it's
like
awful.
as the
And the
people are
one,
walking by.
well, I remember the one scene they were doing like menswear,
Uh-huh.
and I thought he was dressed not that bad. He was in like a suit, but he had like
Yeah.
the fur coat on top of the suit, which I guess is a little too feminine. But the judge
Yeah.
was like, the category is menswear.
Mhm.
And then the
Mhm.
guy just went up and was like going at the judge.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
MC or whatever. And I'm like, oh, but he's not even judge. Like he didn't even give you the scores. But he
Yeah, I
was
know.
like, that's not part of the category. And the guy was like,
Oh,
no, I'm gonna let
oh,
you have it.
there's definitely parts of this where you can break it down. I mean, now it's definitely the world has evolved more to be inclusive to, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like men and women and transgender. And this is just very like I mean, there's definitely like differing opinions. Like you can see the people that are in the club and like part of the like they break down a couple of different houses that are famous
Hmm.
in the runway like ball club at the time,
Yep.
and you can see that there are people that are traditional that are like, no, I'm just a man and I just dress up like a woman and I'll never be a woman and I don't know why, you know what I mean, like they
Yep.
would go into those like rants that kind of
Hmm.
got transphobic a little bit, but it makes sense, like, for the time,
Yeah.
because I guess people aren't as open-minded and stuff, but then you have even like that, like, when they're, like, really strict about, like, "Oh, you look like a man," like, "You're supposed to look like a woman," or look like that,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, there was very much, like, an enforcement of, like, a gender binary in there,
Yeah.
even though it
Mhm.
was, like, drag and everything, so it's just different to see that versus how now there's a lot more, like, androgyny and, like, people
Yeah.
are just, like, kind of, like, because if you look at the older seasons of, like, Drag Race too, they're like, "Oh, you're getting into boy drag," and they don't really, like, say that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's interesting to see how it changes over time.
And, like, with Matty Morphosis being the only straight contestant they've ever had,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
even that was, like, shocking at
Yeah,
the
at the
time.
time,
That
because
was
like, they
not
did
that long ago. But
Yeah, I know.
when Rue was, like, talking to Matty Morphosis and he said that out loud, he's like, "Oh, you're the first straight contestant." And everyone was like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's like now it's not so much of a thing. It's like anybody can do. Like I
Yeah.
like the message now that they when they were talking to like Chapel Roan when she was on guest starred and they were like anybody can like do drag. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like exclusive to like
Yeah.
one gender or the other. And before it would be like if like cis women, like women that were born women were doing drag, they were always pushed to be like, oh no, you're a drag king, like you can't do like feminine, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like now it's just like towing the line of whatever.
Yeah.
I feel somewhere. But this is seeing how it was back then, like I mean, I guess they were it was freeing because they were in their own space and they could be who they were, but there was definitely like some people that were still like, very traditional and talking about it when they had interviewed like the older like
Mhm.
mothers of the houses and stuff. So
Yeah, and I
I guess
remember.
again that just comes with different generations. Like even if they are like everyone in this is involved is queer, they did have like the differing generations
Yeah.
and different ideas.
And I felt bad because the one guy was talking about how, like, when his mom found out, like, his dad never really said anything to him, went straight to his
Hmm.
mom, and then his mom, like, burned all of his female clothes that he
Oh
had
yeah.
and was, like, destroying
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's upsetting because it's like I know that you like got the money together to get that, and it's
Oh, yeah.
probably like not, you know what I mean? It's good quality clothing. It's probably expensive, so it's like
Mhm.
they're just gonna burn it. It's like
Yeah.
okay, great, you just burned my money,
Yep.
like, and now I don't have anything to wear.
Yep.
Like what the hell?
And I felt really
Oh,
bad too. I mean, they talk about it at the end, but, Venus, like, her
oh
whole
God, yeah.
I
I
did
completely
not
forgot that that
I
happened,
I
and
did too.
then
Yeah.
it came around. It was like what? Like
Yeah. That so
yeah,
she
they just kind of threw it in there too, which is
yes.
why I'm like, oh,
Well, because they were interviewing her. So she's
yeah.
transgender, and they were doing
Mhm.
interviews and with a bunch of different
Yeah.
people, so she was in it, and
Mhm.
then somebody from her house was, like, getting interviewed at
Mhm.
the end and was just like, "Yeah, when the police came and told me that she was strangled and, like, put under the bed," and I was like, "Huh?" I
Yeah,
don't know what I
I
was
know.
expecting that conversation to go,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
mm,
I wonder if there's any type of like director's cut or like more information or like longer scenes or I'm
yeah,
gonna do more research and find out because that does seem like it was edited in a very like I mean maybe it was a shocking thing that did happen and they hadn't
yeah,
been talking to people because I mean it was filmed over a span of it said mid to late 80s so I don't know how long like I don't know if those clips could have been from her in like 1987 and then they cut to 89 and then I don't know, cause they have the little clip of her too, though, in the park where she was, like, reading the guy,
yes,
and then before it's that same person that I think is, like, sh well, that it's not her drag mother, but it's, like, somebody that's in the house that's very close with her, and then she
yeah,
was saying, like, "Yeah, well, Venus was kinda crazy, though, she would get into people's cars and not really care and just kind of, like, not I
yeah.
don't know." Like, they just said that she took risks and did dangerous things, and then I guess maybe there was a naivety there, cause then
Yeah, and it says
she ended up being the tightest chain.
she was only
How
23 at
old?
the time.
Really? Oh my god.
I know.
That's so sad.
And
Ah,
then it says,
God.
so Angie, the person they were interviewing, was the first
Mhm,
person that the police informed, and then she had to go tell her family, like her
mhm.
biological, like, oh my god.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think she it didn't sound like from the interviews that she was living near any type of family, and
No.
I guess maybe I don't know how family was reacting to her situation. I don't know if they were
Yeah.
on talking terms because when she was talking, she didn't really seem like she was talking about family. She was just talking about like her dreams, like I want to get a car and I want to fall in love and I want to do that. You know what I mean? Wasn't really saying like where I come from. She was talking more about like what she wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's a shame that can you imagine that if you're just like she has to be the one to like inform
Yeah.
like her parents
And like
about
maybe I don't know why they didn't inform the parents first. Maybe they don't know of any living relatives,
yeah.
and maybe they
I
just
think
knew
I
like,
think she may have said that they couldn't reach anyone. I think that
oh,
was
they
why they and
tried.
then
Yeah.
they tried and then they must have found some type of association. Maybe they found out about the club or they talked to other people from the
Yeah.
club and then they found her. But like, God, that's so
Yeah.
sad. Oh man.
That broke my heart. I was not
I know.
expecting it. Ugh.
I know.
And then at
But
the
again, I do think it is painful. But again, I'm like, it's good that these people's stories are being told, and they
yeah.
weren't just like swept under the rug. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
really good for these stories to be getting exposure,
Yeah.
and like for people to know like where the queer liberation came from. I mean, if you talk about the Stonewall riots, like it started
Oh
as a
yeah.
riot. It
Mhm.
started as somebody throwing a brick through a window.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, "Oh, yeah, we'll wait over here to get our rights," like, all polite, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, revolutions have to happen, you
Mhm.
know? Oh,
And then at the
I
beginning, I
mean
did like they were interviewing some guy. I don't think he was a big name or anything, just someone in the streets, but they were interviewing him, and he said, "Yeah, all of this is like through the looking glass, like us stepping into Wonderland."
yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, like,
yeah,
because if you think about that and Alice in Wonderland, like when she got there, everyone's different and they're just themselves,
mhm,
and no one's asking
mhm.
them to be anything other than themselves."
Yeah,
And that's how they
I know,
feel
it
about
was
being there.
yeah, the Hulk, 'cause, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it does make it look like I believe the whole club that they featured was all underground,
Yeah.
and it all just seemed like they were in, like, another world.
Mhm.
Like, it was like escapism for them,
Yes.
you know? 'Cause I think that same thing, I mean, it was like there was even kids that were, like, being interviewed on the street that were, like, very young, but it was like
Mhm.
they were talking about, like, they don't know if this could be a, like, refuge for young youth that are,
Oh
like,
yeah.
homeless or aren't safe at home. Like,
And
the one
they
kid they were interviewing was only, like, 15, and
oh
then he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm 13." The other one was like, "Oh, I'm 13," and I was like, "Oh god."
And the one guy mentioned
But
like there's like an under 21 section for like
mhm,
kids that like they don't have food at home, they don't have anything. And they can just
mhm,
come here and get the help that they need.
I know.
It's much
So
more than just
that was really good.
yeah. And so I have a list of some of the most iconic New York drag queens.
Mhm,
Um, can't list them all because there's too many, and some of them I don't know. But obviously RuPaul, love him. Um, Peppermint from New York.
yes.
Um, of course, love him. Bob the drag queen.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
mhm. Bianca Del Rio.
Isn't
Uh,
Monet from New York too?
she might be.
Yeah, I think Monet's New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at
Monet
least
is
they
New
performed
York.
in New York.
Uh,
Thorgy's from New York,
Miss
I'm pretty sure.
Cracker.
Miss Cracker, yeah, because they were all in the same
They were
they
all
all
in the
knew each
same.
other before Drag Race, and they were all in the same
Yeah, Sasha Velour. Um,
oh god, yeah.
did you like her?
Oh, I did.
I did. I liked because she was
I
very
loved
different.
the oh, yeah, but the the lip sync at the end,
Oh yes,
at the finale with the roses,
yes.
that's, like, one of the number
Most
one things that
iconic.
she's known
Yep.
for. And then I love when Shea Coulee talks about it, and she's like, "I was all ready to win that, and then the damn roses, she
Uh
brought out
huh.
the damn roses."
And then rest in peace, Jiggly Caliente, also from New York.
Ugh,
Um,
queen.
and then Ivy Winters, Olivia Lux.
I don't know if Ivy does drag still. I don't think Ivy does drag still.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I liked it.
Does
I just
I did
remember
too.
on Drag Race, Jinx had a major crush on her. Remember that?
Oh God, yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. She occasionally still does gigs, particularly for special events or projects, but has largely stepped back from drag. She indicates that it's not a retirement, but
Okay.
she like stepped back, so she's um doing less gigs, but not like
Yeah.
she's not
There
like I'm never gonna do
yeah.
drag. She's not
So
saying
there's
that,
so many.
but
Okay, so and then obviously Crystal LaBeija, House of LaBeija. That's all New
yes,
York based. Olivia
yes.
Lux, Candy Muse, Acid Betty, and then Miss Fame, Aquaria Pearl, Manila Luzon, Marsha, Lana, Lana Jarre. Oh, there's a lot of New York queens.
Oh yeah. New York probably has an even bigger. I mean,
In Chicago,
Philly's come up like in the last couple of
mm-hmm.
years, but New York is like one of the main.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think it was like maybe like season 8 or like yeah, it must have been season 8 where that was the first season where they were like, oh my god, like all the queen, like everybody's from New
Yes.
York,
Yep.
and then 9 had a lot of 9 and 10, yeah,
Yeah.
from
Not.
8 to
Yeah.
like
Because I'm watching
10,
10 now. Or
yeah.
rewatching it, and there was a lot of Monet's in it. Monique Hart's in it. I don't know if she's from New York, but Monet was in it. Aquaria, Miss Cracker.
I think she might be a Southern queen,
Yeah.
I think, but I did have a couple more quotes that
Oh
I
yes, yes.
picked from the doc too, that I recognize from Drag Race now when they were like, "It do take nerve." The one guy, the
Oh,
announcer
yep,
guy, said that into the
yep.
thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then they also say, and RuPaul says this all the time. Why y'all gagging? You know she'd bring it to you ever ball. So that was
Mm-hmm.
another one that I picked up from that. Um, I think RuPaul's only said this a couple times, but shake the dice and steal the rice.
Yep.
That's she said that. Um, this is more just like a general term. It probably didn't directly come from this, but when they refer to like their crotch area, they go between me down there. I've heard
Oh,
that
yep.
in the Paris is Burning.
Mm-hmm.
I think specifically Venus did use that
Yeah.
when she was talking about her anatomy. And then also this was opulence. You own everything, and that's
Yes.
been used so
So
much.
many.
That was even used in I think it's 11, so you'll get to it in the next season. But they have there's a queen I think named she has Diamond in her name. I know this, but she keeps saying in a challenge it's like she has to say opulence, you own everything, but she keeps saying you earn everything by
Oh,
accident,
mm-hmm.
like a Alyssa Edwards, like when she was going do instead of doodah.
Yes.
Like it was that type of moment.
I. Oh, I couldn't stand that.
But yeah. You'll hear that, it's like a thing,
Yeah.
like, she runs across you might have seen it in, like, clips, but, the queen goes across the screen, like, voguing with her hands, like,
Yep.
as she's walking across the screen, she's like, "Opulence,
Yes.
you earn everything," and then everybody keeps saying, "You own
Yes.
everything."
I love and in Drag Race when they mess things up. Rigor Morris.
Rigor is a and then
And
Detox goes, "Who's Morris?
Morris. It's rigor mortis.
Who's Mor"
Rigor Morris.
Oh,
And she's
man.
Detox's face is like, who is Morris?
I just rewatched All Stars 2,
Uh,
like,
yes.
last week.
Yep.
Classic.
Do you
Oh
have
my god.
what are your favorite reads since we're talking about reading in the
Favorite
documentary? Do you have
reads.
any reads that one,
Well,
well,
the one that always comes to mind is Katya and then Roxy Andrews. I think about you
I
every
was just
morning,
going to say that,
especially at the bus stop.
which, and
Oh god.
and you know how we were talking about like Venus's passing and how it just all of a sudden just randomly was in the documentary at
Yeah.
the end. It makes me it like reminds me of when you're watching Drag Race and they're all getting ready and then all of a sudden they're like, I have HIV and you're like, where did this come from?
Oh yeah,
Like
when they're
yes,
just like
I feel so
they
bad,
just
but
bring
like
it up.
what like, sometimes it is justified and
Oh yeah.
they're all
Sure.
but I notice it a lot.
That literally happens, but I've heard multiple people talk because like I watch like a lot of the like viewing parties where they'll be like, "Oh, this is at Roscoe's or this is at Mickey's," and they talk about like the behind the scenes of like what actually happens with production and everything.
Yeah.
That's editing. A lot of
Oh,
it
is
is
it?
editing. Why it comes across, it's editing, and then they've said before. I think there's multiple queens that have said it before that if the conversations aren't flowing in like, if they're talking about, like, more, like, not personal, but, like, things that they can't get on camera or, like, if there's things that are not, like if it's just, like, kind of the vibe is, like, down or it's, like, quiet, the
Yeah.
producers, like, bring up things that they want them to talk about. That's why, like, randomly, like I don't know if you just watched season 9 where they randomly started talking about, like, the Pulse shooting, like, they
Yep.
prompt them for certain conversations that they want them to have.
Yeah, and it
And once in a while, they'll pull, like, from, like, current events and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like, that's when they'll be like, "Well, what do you guys think about voting?" Like, they'll just
Oh,
randomly start
yeah.
talking. Some of it is genuine, I think, but a lot of the time it is production, like, trying to,
Yes, and then I notice it too when they're
you know.
getting, like, harsh critiques and they're, like,
Uh-huh.
crying on stage, and that's why the read is so funny, and not to, like, downplay what happened to Roxy, obviously, it's
Yeah,
very sad, but I just
absolutely.
remember that scene of Roxy getting, like, a harsh critique in her season, she's crying, and the judge is like, "What? Like, why are you feeling that way?" And she's like, "I got left at the
Mhm.
bus stop by my mom. She just
Yeah,
left us there, my siblings." So the read, even though the situation's not funny, the read is so funny.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, it happened, like those were 2 different seasons too, because
yeah,
she brought that up. Didn't she? Because she brought that up in,
her original season,
season
I think.
5.
Yeah.
Right, season 5. I'm pretty sure it's the episode where she does the double wig. Is that not?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's the same I think it's the same episode, I don't
Yeah.
know, but, the wig reveal.
And
But
then
then
yes.
that read didn't happen until All Stars
Yeah.
2, you know what I mean? That would be crazy if she announced that and then,
Oh
like,
yeah.
on that same season, if they did the reading challenge or somebody said it then, I'd be like,
Yeah.
no."
And I also like
Like
the read in All Stars, the first All Star season. I guess it was two.
mhm.
Um, or no, was Roxy? Yeah, Roxy was in season two.
Yeah, Roxy was too.
Where the detox or no, it was Alaska when her read towards Roxy when she was like, apparently a diet consisting of nothing but hatred for Jinx Monsoon does the body good.
Yeah.
That always got me
Oh,
too.
god.
And I love, and I don't know who, can't remember who said it, but whoever in their All Star season, I think it was maybe Kylie, said that
Mhm.
Ginger Man was shaped like a deep breath.
Oh, yeah, that was All Stars
Yep,
6, I'm
yep,
pretty sure.
yep. I think that was Kylie.
Oh, man.
And then of course, like we have the villains roast or any of the roasts that they do on the judges are so funny.
It is really good.
Yes,
I'm trying to think of what I mean, All Stars 2 had really good reads.
yes. And I do like in speaking of like the current reads, they did the rapping roast
Oh
and
god, yeah.
well, I do think Lydia was robbed. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
because
did
I
like
watched it back again,
George's.
and then I was like,
Yeah,
"What is the?"
yeah,
I mean, I'm on the fence about Georges's verse because I don't know. I get that some people have trouble with writing, but I
yeah,
don't know that it's exactly fair that everybody's sitting down and writing their verses, and then she gets help from Megami,
yeah,
which I don't even know how. I guess they must know. I mean, I know they have time to prepare like their runway packages, but I
yeah,
just wonder how did that
yeah.
happen? Like how
Unless they were
I
told
don't know.
like you're gonna need. Yeah, I don't know how that works. But a lot of
They
people
must
are like
know
it.
ahead of time what the I think they know what the challenges are, they just don't know they don't know the order that they go in,
Yeah,
and I think they don't know, like, the specifics, I guess. Well, I
yeah,
mean, they'll know ahead of time, but then if Rue's talking to them and she does that thing where she's like, "And one more thing," or "I
yeah,
almost forgot," like, I think those are genuine when they
yeah,
find out that information, but I think they get like a preview of like, oh, this is gonna be a design challenge, and it's gonna be like for season 17. I think they had like a list, and it would just be like Betsy Johnson look. Like so
Yes.
they would know that they had to make a Betsy Johnson look, but they don't know the specifics of it.
Yes.
But I don't know. She must have had some type of if Megami, because Megami can't be at the set
Yeah.
with her, you know.
So
So
they
she must have
yeah,
had some
they must have
opportunity before
all
that.
I guess Rue maybe said like make a verse or you're gonna have to like make a song or a verse and
Yeah,
whatever, but a lot of people are like it's not as genuine now. Like her win doesn't feel as genuine. But then a lot of people are also saying it probably happens all the time. It's just Megami's the only one that actually openly admits that she wrote these things. Like other people probably get help all the time.
yeah. Oh, there's that. I didn't even think of that. That people are just like acting like they read them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
But I
Hmm.
did like
It does make you
Mistresses.
think. I wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
Um, her when she said, "How can I read the bitch?" Um, look how Nicole
Look how
Page
Nicole Page looks.
looks. That I did like,
Yeah.
and I like George's verse, but just knowing it wasn't like she didn't write it.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit like less enjoyable. Who had the read? I mean, there was two different reads where they were like, "Oh, Rue ordered you, or Rue ordered Sasha, and you showed up," or
Yes,
something
and then there was the
with
one where
Carrie.
like Georgia said, "Rue would like you if she remembered who you were," basically.
Oh,
Um,
God.
and then Lydia's, I think Lydia's was my favorite. Um,
Yeah,
I can't remember. She called her like the itty bitty titty queen or something, and then
yeah,
she said like twink butthole winking or something. Can't remember exactly how
yeah.
it goes, but hers was so funny. But Georgia's had the good line at the end. Again, it was all written by somebody else, but when she called Mistress Beast, and she's like, to quote
The
Alyssa
words of
Edwards,
Alyssa Edwards.
Beast.
Or yeah, the crows Alyssa Edwards. Beast.
Yes. Um, and there's obviously when they do roast the judges, and they did one on Michelle,
Uh-huh.
Carson, Ross, and then obviously Rue had his own roast. Those were all so funny.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good, and I love who was
Oh,
it?
Tina was the verse where she said, "Online Rue ordered Sasha, but you showed up."
Yes.
I just brought up, because the Rap and Roast is actually released as a song on
Yep.
um like
Yep.
Spotify and stuff. So like they have the lyrics on
Oh yes.
Genius.
Oh
If
yeah,
you
it
know the
is.
rapping, yeah, I just sent it to you.
Yes. Um. Yes. Anyway, Miss Burner, if you're nasty, no need to introduce. I heard these roasts get dirty, so let me be a douche. I thought that was so funny. I thought it was
Yeah.
so funny. Um.
Honestly, I would if they did it like a top three instead of like a top two, I probably would have done for the lines like because again, the whole Georges thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way that it wasn't written by her. So if we take her out, I would still have Mistress in there because I thought her like
Oh
lines were really
yeah.
good. I would have put Mistress, Lydia, and Tina. Honestly, in my opinion,
Yes.
'cause
And I also
Tina was kind of
love.
spitting, honestly.
I love um Tina's line. You're a mean girl, mistress, a bitch, a jerk. All that aside, I'm still a fan. And she goes, Sandy
And
DeVito, I love your
yeah, I
work.
love your work.
And then
You didn't even see on Mistress' face. She was like, "Okay, that was good." Like,
but again, there was some good ones from Nicole, but again, bottom tier. But I do like Carrie's half my age, 4 times the work, a whole new face, but still dumb as dirt. And then she goes, Gorgeous Georges, how'd you get here? You've been in Ross's colon this whole damn year. But like
which
the
isn't it so odd that she would say Ross? I would think she would say you've been RuPaul. Like, I would think she would
I guess
say, "Wonder
maybe
why Ross came up."
I guess maybe
Maybe just
Ross
because
is
he was
just
there.
easier to say or
Yeah, yeah.
rhyme with things. Um,
Yeah, true.
and then Miss Butthole. The question is, whose did you elect to get back here so quick? Like the lyrics are good. The way she,
No, you know what had me dying? There was a you didn't I don't know if you ever watched the movie Black Swan, but there's a meme with Winona Ryder where she does this thing where she's basically like it's basically like the same thing, like how are you like getting ahead so fast, George's to Lydia, like
oh
how are you
yeah,
back here again so fast? And they take the clip, it's like, did you suck his cock? And then it's like, not all of us have to. And then you put Lydia as the person going, not all of us have to.
and then Lydia's. I think Lydia's, and a lot of people are saying Michelle's, like her judging lately, but she said she could barely hear Lydia's.
She's been contradicting herself big time, like
Yes,
with the past couple of years. I'm like, girl, what are you talking
but
about?
then I love Chapel is like, well, I can hear just fine,
I know, no, and she kept rebuttaling. She rebutted her like 3 different times, and I was like, oh.
and
Every
then
time she's like,
yes,
well, that's how she's like, well, her one critique was like, well, you put so many words in the one verse, and then Chapel's like, that's rap, so
I know, and I love so Lydia's like first line. She goes, "Oh, the butthole is here. Let's gape these hoes."
escape these hosts.
And then this is the line, or it says George's,
Mhm.
"Oh, you think you're so sickening." And then itty bitty titty girl, twinking, butthole winking.
Winking. I don't
Um,
even know if that's like a read. It doesn't even sound like one. It
it's,
just sounds like good
I guess,
alliteration. Like, it's
yeah,
funny.
and she's just calling her a twink, really,
Yeah.
which is not news.
Yeah.
Um,
Then according to her in her opening for bracket two, she's like, my twink death is coming. I'm like, I don't know about that.
yeah. And then Carrie Colby, you'll always be the team artist Sasha's Tony.
That was good.
That
Yeah.
was good. Yep.
Uh,
Mistress. I will say a lot of people were like, I
I
didn't
I
like
like the
her.
line. I like the line too. Where she said Tina. Well, it was kind of dumb, but it was kind of funny. It's like it's Tina Burner. People run and hide when she turns the Kerner.
Yes, at first I had to watch it again because I was like, "What's a kerner?" And I was like, "Oh, like a corner," but like because
Yeah,
I get
because
it.
Tina
But like when
Burner.
I first heard it, I was like, "I don't know what a kerner is," and then I was like, "Oh, I get it
Yeah,
now."
where Lydia like lacked in any type of like there's a couple of like words where it's like you could tell that she was just trying to fit certain things in there, but she like had a good like flow and like
Yep,
cadence that like made up for any like lacking lines,
yes.
which is cool.
And I feel like Mistress
You
did the
imagine she's
best.
on the phone with Corey, like, what do I do? No, I'm kidding.
I know. Corey's just like Kerner, and she's like, "Huh?"
I don't know. Unless they sneak cell phones though, because before I don't think they would be allowed to have cell phones. But again, I don't know how it
'Cause maybe
works
it's
like
All
modernly.
Star.
Because
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. But apparently, even back in the day, I found this out from I think it was somebody who was on Matty Morphos's podcast. Maybe somebody from, like, the first, like, couple of or it was I think it was Kylie Sonique Love, and she was talking about how, like, yeah, people still went out, like, they didn't, like, until Willem got disqualified in, like,
Mhm.
season 4, they didn't start, like they would tape their doors after that. I'm like, "That's weird." It's like, I'm just gonna go like, I'm just to,
Yeah.
like, break the tape, like, what are you gonna do on the show? But I don't know how strict it
Yes.
is now versus then, who knows?
Yeah, and then Mistress, I think, did the best.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people just don't like her, just in general, so they don't like. But she
Yeah.
did, honestly, she did the best.
She
Um,
gives good TV though. She's not like
oh
she
yeah,
knows what's good TV. Like
yeah,
that's the whole motivation of
oh
what
yeah.
she's doing.
And just like George's, these bitches have no GED,
DT.
GED, and
They start
then
panicking when they see the MIB.
yes, and then it's Carrie. You call yourself Tranos. Well, I'm the Iron Woman. Look what happened to
Look
Thanos.
what happened to Thanos. Yeah.
And that was a good read. And then now
Uh-huh.
moving on to Nicole Page Brooks. I can't read the bitch. Look how Nicole Page looks.
That's probably my favorite part of
That
the
and
whole.
the fact when she was like Tina Burner's on fire like gonorrhea. I was like, and then
Walked in
Nothing.
the room like, "It was nice to meet you. Not arrivederci, bitch. Hasta la
Hasta la
vista."
vista. And Georges, I think, was again did good. Um, but
Yeah.
again, I think it does take away a little bit. Um,
'Cause
because
again, we
yeah,
don't know how much of a collaborative like, who's to say that this whole thing wasn't written by
yeah, I don't
you know what I
know.
mean?
I haven't seen like what was actually written by Megami because she just said the verse, which is like the whole thing. So like, did
Yeah.
she give her like maybe just Carrie's read and nothing else?
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
Lydia's read was probably written by Georges because it's not really a read. It just goes, the butthole's back. Nice to meet you, Lydia. You think you're gonna win, bitch? I pity ya. Not a
Yeah.
read.
I
But
mean, who's did she write her stu I mean, as far as we knew, she wrote her stuff for the roast and All Stars 9,
she
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I
Like
guess this
she,
was different because you have to have a flow. Writing, like, a verse is different because you have to have, like, a flow to it versus just doing, like, a comedy routine, I
yeah.
guess.
And
Because what
then
Megami helped Nymphia with was also something like this. I'm pretty sure she helped her for the remember when they did that song, "Power"?
yep.
I think that's what she helped her with, was writing that. I'm pretty sure because they didn't do girl groups, right?
I don't think
Or they
so.
did. I don't know.
No.
I think they just did that,
Yeah.
like the power verse where they had to write, and that was like halfway through. Megami had already gone home by then too, which is why so I'm
Yeah.
like, again, they must find out things ahead of time.
And then I felt bad for Carrie because like I understood where she was coming from with her
Yeah,
roast. I just don't think it was received well enough. Um.
yeah.
Uh. But
It was a good idea. Like she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be vague, but they're gonna know
and
who."
I feel like when you
She did
yeah
it as like if the shoe fits type thing. Like,
yeah
oh, if you think this is about you, it probably is. Like,
and I do think like her reads because there's this one where it says, um, "Let me give it to you, sis. I'm a prophetess. Ain't one bad built bitch stopping this because I could never be a bitch from City." But it's like
yeah,
OBIE and then the word city.
obesity.
But like
Right,
if you're
right,
reading it,
right.
it's
Like,
like obesity. It's like, well, obviously that's mistress because she's
yeah.
um plus size. So like she had good reads, um, but she didn't
Some of
really
this I
call.
just don't get though.
Yeah,
Some of this I just don't get though. Like she goes, "Titties pretty, peep the getty, giving diversity. Chicken looking bitches want to pop off so damn bad." Girl,
is that Lydia? I guess.
chicken maybe because chicken legs. Oh yeah, because she's
Or I
skinny.
mean, Nicole Pace
Maybe.
Brooks is kind of skinny too. I
She's
guess.
kinda skinny, but I would think that the reads with Nicole would be, "You're old, your season's old."
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, that's I don't know, unless they were like they were like, "Chicken bitches." But chicken bitches could also be, like, people, like, because I mean, when people call somebody a chicken, they're calling them, like, cowardly, you know,
oh
like, "Oh,
yeah,
you're a chicken." So, like, I don't know.
yes.
Chicken bitches wanna pop off so bad talking about some bullshit they never ever had they ain't ever had. I don't get that read.
So that probably
Chicken bitches wanna pop off so damn bad. Maybe that probably is Lydia then.
yeah,
'Cause she's talking about, like, 'cause she's, like, brand new, I guess.
yeah.
I
And
don't know.
she's now like Mistress's drag daughter.
Yes.
But you would think. I mean, obviously, I don't think. Well, she never stated that she met any of these people, but I saw online. It's like, no, her drag mother would be like Willow Pill,
Needs to be in that, like,
or like
house.
yeah,
Well, Willow and Evie are part of the same aren't they in the same drag family,
I
or
don't
they're
know.
close, like,
Yeah,
they're close if they're not in the same family, they're just, like, really good friends.
yeah,
But, yeah, I've heard that more than once, and then I was like, "Yeah, it seems so random that she wants, like, Mistress Isabel Brooks to be her drag mom."
yes. Also, I did
But
not
hey.
realize this, but Willow Pill is 30 years old.
Oh, okay.
We're
I think I
both.
did see that just because of, Instagram. Part of the 30 club, let's go.
Yes.
And that's the first Rude girl we saw live.
Mm-hmm. We were
Shout out
supposed to
to
see
Willow,
Trixie and Katya, but
but that didn't wanna they didn't
yes.
wanna make it.
So I'm looking up. So I was
You
googling.
sounded so bitter when you said they were like, "We were supposed to say."
We were
I'm not
supposed
saying
to.
any names, but
And I love how it was like, oh, it's getting rescheduled. It's supposed to be in the
yeah,
summer, and then it got
yeah.
rescheduled for like January, and then the
No,
snow was
yeah,
so
it got
bad.
rescheduled. Yeah, it was supposed to be in no, it was supposed to be in September, and then they
Yep.
rescheduled it to January, and
Yes,
then
that's
that's
what it
where we had
was.
the damn
Yep.
snowstorm. I'm so mad.
Yep.
Ugh.
Now.
I'm confident in the fact that they're gonna tour again though, because they're so. I mean, Trixie might take some time because she's doing the disco, like the DJ stuff, but I'm I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping that they're gonna do another tour.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking up on Google some famous people in the community to celebrate Pride,
Okay.
and
Yes.
some of these like don't make sense in my mind,
Really?
and I don't get it.
Can you
Obviously
tell?
we have Ellen, Elliot
Well,
Page.
she's
Well,
Ellen's a choice right now. I'm
Ellen's a
just saying.
choice, but like she is a prominent figure in that community.
Not anymore. People
Not
hate her.
anymore, but during her
She was.
time, she was. Obviously, Elliot Page,
Mhm.
um, Lady Gaga. It says openly bisexual woman.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously Marsha P. Johnson.
Yes.
Uh, but then like
Are we talking about in the entertainment industry or just in general?
this is just what came up when I searched famous people in the community. Um,
Okay.
and so like Miley Cyrus is on there.
Oh yeah,
She's been
Miley is
open.
she's pansexual, I
Yeah.
believe. She said.
And so you have like Laverne Cox, Neil Patrick Harris, but then you just
Mhm.
have Brad Pitt.
No, I
And it
don't think
says,
that's
and I'm guessing it's not just people who are part of the community, but just
is it
support
listing
the
an
community.
ally because he's an ally.
Yes. So
Because you
apparently
know who's the
he's,
number one name you gotta put down there? Josh Hutcherson. I don't know if you've seen the things
yes.
online about
Yep.
him being, like, a very, like, prominent like, he wears like, there was a campaign around the time when he was I think I wanna say it was, like, the first Hunger Games, maybe, like,
Oh
around
yeah, he
there,
was super
and
young
it was
then.
a
Yeah.
yeah, because there was like, an organization about, like, allyship, and it was called Straight But Not Narrow, and he wore that T-shirt everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He wore that T-shirt everywhere, and I think
Yep.
he just recently made, like, a TikTok with a friend about being, like, an ally.
Yep. So like when you click on the thing for Brad Pitt, it just says, despite being named the mascot of a straight pride parade being organized by a right wing group in Boston, Brad
Oh,
Pitt has been a champion of LGBTQ causes.
I don't no offense, but, like, he's not I don't ever
It
I don't
doesn't
ever
give
hear
vibe.
about
It
it.
doesn't give ally vibes.
I don't hear but here's the whole thing, I don't hear about it, I don't he
And I
doesn't have
guess
any
like,
personal social media, I don't hear I
and
don't
I
know, maybe, like, in the '90s or something, but, like, I
and
don't
I get it. Like you don't have to openly on social media, I guess, present
Yeah,
that way. But if you're
yeah.
that big of a public figure, I feel like you should be. Like us
Yeah, I mean,
not.
there's it's different, like, he might do, like, things in his private life, but it's like, I've just never heard of him
Yeah.
being outward like, outspoken.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hear things about Brad Pitt, period, ma'am. I'm just not in tune with him. I don't know.
And
But
Daniel Radcliffe's on this list, and it says,
oh, yeah.
um, and he is, but it says the Harry Potter star was named Celebrity Straight Ally at the 2015 British LGBT Awards. You got an
Hmm,
award for being a straight ally. Good for you.
that's wild.
It's wild that that's an award, but
Yeah.
good for you for supporting. And then Harvey Milk, um, first openly gay elected official in California.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And they made a movie about him, and Sean Penn played him, which I'm not the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
Sean Penn fan for other reasons,
Yeah.
AE, him being abusive and beating up Madonna, and I don't know how many other people,
Hmm.
but it was good that he played it. They were like, "Oh, okay." Like he, it's different. Like it was a little bit of a cherry picking situation with him because it's like, okay, you're gonna be this like horrible person in
Yeah.
real life, but then it's like, no, but I'm gonna play Harvey Milk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, the Queen, Anne Hathaway,
Oh
she's on
yeah.
this list because she supports, well, she has a gay brother, um,
Okay.
and is an advocate for It Gets Better Project, Trevor Project. But we love her, and she's definitely an ally. You can tell.
Yes.
Elton John, obvious reasons.
King.
Um, and then Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory's gay.
Mm-hmm.
And
A lot of
then,
people.
yeah, lots of. Oh, and then, what are your thoughts? Because I think about this sometimes. Obviously, JoJo Siwa is just very controversial. A lot of people
Uh-huh.
feel a certain type of way about her. And a lot
Uh-huh.
of people think that her new relationship with that guy that she met on Big Brother is not real.
Mm.
And it's just like for show. Because
No,
she,
I think it's real.
well, because a
I don't
lot
know
of
why they.
people, they were saying because months ago, or whenever, however long ago it was, where she admitted publicly that she was a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now she's with a guy. And it seems like, according to these people, she's always changing her mind.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think it may have been. I mean, I'm all for like you just because you identify a certain way in one part of your life doesn't mean you will later on. Like, so maybe
mhm,
she was just. I don't know. I think she could still.
yeah,
I mean, she could be bi, you know. So like,
yeah,
she could just be with a man now. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's gonna
yeah,
stay with him or I think it's just fluidity and like people again are like if they're getting mad at her, I think it's maybe like the parasocial relationship of like
yeah,
a crossing a line. When it comes down to it, it's like it's her life.
yeah.
So it's like if she wants to be with a man, if she's happy, it's fine. If she wants to be with a girl, it's happy. You
Hmm.
know, it's just like
But I
I
think
think
they just have a notion about her to begin with,
yeah,
prior to
yeah,
her even making statements about her coming out, and so then her coming out and then realizing like, no, I feel this way. It just sets people off.
yeah.
But
I
it's
could
like
see
that
that.
with Demi when she started using they them pronouns, and
Right.
people were going off about it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Uh, I know. People just make it like it's a big
Hmm.
deal. They're just like, oh, how many genders are there? I can't stand when that
Oh
stupid
yeah.
argument comes up. I'm like, okay.
Or
I
I've
mean,
seen things where people are bisexual and they're like, let's say a woman's dating a woman and they're bisexual, and the guy's like, well, have you ever been with a man?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
It's like
huh?
people have to constantly prove themselves. It's
Yeah.
like, no, this is how people live their life.
It's like
Like,
when you're wearing a band T-shirt and a guy comes up to you and is like, name 5 songs. Like,
name 5 songs. Yeah.
and you're like,
No.
oh, I don't need to. I listen
Like
to them.
actually I just like this t-shirt and I like the way it looked, so
And
I put it
also,
on.
I like their music, but I don't need to name 5 songs to prove that I like their music.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that always got
Again,
me because I would
people
see comments being like, yeah, well, have you ever tried being with a man? It's like,
it's
yeah,
just
maybe
like
that's why she's not with a man now.
right, right, right. I mean, it's just like again, I think it's just things can change. Like it's just let people live their damn lives. Like who
Yes.
cares if it's not affecting you, it's not affecting your livelihood. You're thinking about it though. Like I
You're
can't stand when
thinking
people
about it,
want to just
which,
oh, I just can't stand when
yes.
people like speculate in the comments. Like people have done this to so many celebrities. They did it at one point. They did it to Justin Bieber. Like they do it
Yep.
with male celebrities. They do it with female celebrities. It's just like
Yes.
everybody's got to fit into people's like pretty little box that they make, and if they step a little bit out of what their perception is of them, they're
Yep.
just like, "What do you mean? She said this 2 months ago." It's like, okay, cool.
That was 2 months
And
ago.
maybe that's what I mean. You can
Yeah.
say you can feel a certain way and then change like how you feel. Like I know that JoJo is like controversial. I mean, she was like definitely trying to break out of like the whole she aggressively much like how when Miley remember when Miley did the whole
Hmm.
like twerking thing and like Robin with Robin Thicke and
Oh,
she was like
yeah.
really trying to shed her like Disney
Yep.
image. Like JoJo did the same thing in her own way. She was like, I'm an adult, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I think that part, I think, comes
Yeah,
from the
when
whole,
you're
like,
on
childcare
national
aspect.
television as a kid,
Yeah.
and, like, she was on Dance Moms.
You don't develop normally.
No.
There's you can't with cameras in your face. Like, imagine when you were in grade school, like, just in your normal life, like, imagine just adding in, like, "Oh, you're in front of the camera all the time."
Yeah. And
Like,
with
that's
JoJo, like,
crazy.
being on Dance Moms and the abuse that they all endured was awful. I still love
Yeah.
the show, which is awful to say, but, like, if you watch it and then after the show, she puts on this character with, the slick black hair, and she's selling millions of dollars of merch, and her face is everywhere, and she's making, like, pop music, and then
Mhm.
to grow up and finally try and get out of it. Like, what are you supposed to do? Because everyone just sees you the same way that they've always seen you.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's why Miley did the same thing. Like, she had to do something so different to prove, like,
To, like, shed the image of,
yeah,
I'm not the Disney girl anymore."
I'm past that. And now look
But
at me.
meanwhile, it's like
But,
it's like
yeah,
their rebellion's just being put in front of the camera because I mean, think about how many kids like when they grow up they like start dressing a different way
yeah,
or they want to rebel against their parents, so they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be goth. I'm gonna wear dark eyeliner."
yeah,
Like just I, but these things aren't being televised. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I think that they're having normal reactions to the situations that they're put in.
yep,
Honestly,
mm-hmm,
because if you add in the like I said, like having cameras in your face all the time and the added pressure, I can't imagine being in their shoes and what I would have done, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
growing up in that environment.
yes,
And who's to say it couldn't be way worse, you know?
yeah.
Like, damn. Like,
That's why I always look at like that, and then Demi had all of her issues,
yeah.
and like so many of them.
Yeah.
Like,
And
oh,
she had a journey with her like queerness too, because again, she had the they them pronouns and then she didn't feel comfortable doing that anymore.
mm-hmm,
And again, it's just fluidity, but people are like, "Oh, they just do that for attention." It's like, no, they're going through the normal processes of like
yes,
change, like going through like their identity. It's just that they have cameras in their face and they have this online audience, you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
and especially like when you come from like something like Disney, like they've always felt the need to like address changes in their lives because they have all these fans that are like look
yeah,
quote unquote looking up to them, you know?
mm-hmm. And I hate the
So
people, and it's always, well, it's conservative people, but
yeah.
also super religious people that are like, it's
Uh-huh.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You're like,
Go away.
go away.
Like,
But then you think,
homophobia is not cute.
no,
Transphobia is not cute.
no.
Just stop. Like life is as hard as it is. Like just let people be who they are. I
I'd
don't think
rather
it's that
be me than you.
hard. Like,
So I
yeah,
just,
like
I and they think, and I don't know why this is a thing, but it literally has no effect on people's lives. But they
yeah.
make it seem like it does. Like,
No,
they
I
get
know.
so butthurt. It's like, "Oh, you're a man that's now a woman. Oh my god." And it's like, "Okay, well, as long as he's as long as this person is still a good person, you're not a
Yeah,
murderer,
I
you're
mean,
not gonna, like, abuse me in any way. You're not gonna, like, if you're none of that, then I
oh
don't
no,
care."
according to conservative women people, they're like, oh, I can't go in the bathroom and say okay.
Oh, and I
So
saw
then
a thing. I did see a thing on Instagram, and it
yeah.
pissed me off because there was a transgender man that got told at whatever, either this restaurant or whatever is that he needed to use his assigned bathroom. So he didn't fight it. He went into the
Mhm.
women's bathroom because that's what he was told. He didn't fight it.
Right.
And then they
'Cause they
gave,
probably looked on the ID, they saw what the ID said,
or whatever,
maybe.
yeah. And
Or
so
like
he used the women's restroom like he was told, and a woman came in there and saw a man in there and freaked out. And I think he said like the police ended up showing up and like getting involved because he was using the wrong bathroom, like the bathroom that they told him to use.
yeah,
Make it make
yeah.
sense.
It doesn't. It
It
doesn't.
doesn't. Like, you're telling him to use
Yeah.
the bathroom that he was assigned at birth to,
Yeah.
but then people are calling the police because It's a man in a woman's bathroom.
Right, because the woman probably just thought it was a guy, like, didn't
Yeah.
even like, who's to say if the conversation even got that far, like, if she
No, I
was
think she
being
just saw.
transphobic as well, or she
Yeah.
just thought, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, "Oh, there's a man in here." Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've heard the argument too, like, with, like, transgender women, they said, "Oh, okay, well, you want me to go in the bathroom with your husband? Okay." Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Fine.
like, instead
I'll go to the bathroom and use a urinal next to
yeah,
your
like
husband.
yeah, like
But they don't. And then it's like,
uh,
well, then what bathroom are they going to use? I
right.
can't use the men's bathroom because you're saying I'm not a man, but I can't use the women's bathroom because I look like a man. Like,
Yeah,
what is it? Which is it? And it
make it
literally
make
has
sense. It doesn't.
no effect on people's lives, but in their mind it does.
This is literally just and people act like the the greatest threat, and it's statistically shown, the greatest threat to cis women would be a cis man.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's not
it's not.
it's like, hello? You're worried about the wrong things here.
Yeah, yeah.
You're worried about the wrong people being in the bathroom.
Yeah. If
All
I
this
s-
and it's just like they say like, "I just wanna go in the bed I just wanna go to the bathroom. I just wanna pee, do what I gotta do, and you know what I
leave,
mean? Like, it's so stupid.
you think I'd be dumb
Policing
enough to?
people's genitals is just crazy to
You
me.
would think I'd be dumb enough to try something in the bathroom. I'm already discriminated enough as it is. Like, you think
Yeah.
those people are gonna want to then further that and try something? No, I just have to take a piss.
Conservatives are the weirdest fucking people on this earth. I just
Hmm.
can't take it anymore. Between that and then them banning drag. I love the memes where they're like, "They just wanna ban drag," and it's just Delta Work, like, blind tasting Diet Coke on her podcast,
Or
like
like when they get pissed off that it's like a drag queen's like reading to children.
yeah. And I gotta send you this video. I just saw this beautiful. I think it was I don't know exactly where it was, but it was some type of pride celebration, and um a family went there with their two children. It was really cute. Like the little kids had like little dollar bills, and they walked up to the drag queen and handed her the dollar
Oh,
bill, like at
stop.
the World
So
Pride.
cute.
And then she like picked them both up and was like holding them, and they were like all dancing around. And then people were like, "Yeah, they want to ban drag, and it's just this." Like and it was just like
That's
everybody was having such a great and the kids were like laughing, the I could like the joy on their face, like they had little flags and they were like waving the flag. I was just like it was so
yeah.
joyful and I'm like, this is what they have a problem with? Like I don't get it.
I don't, it does not make sense.
It's
And they
either
get
like
so butt,
with conservative well, it's conservative, it's like
yeah.
it's they're either like closeted or they just hate something about themselves or they hate that the other people are experiencing the joy. Like they want that joy
Yes.
that they see queer people experiencing,
Uh-huh.
you know?
They're living their best
They're like,
lives
"Hmm,
and they're stuck in their conservative ways.
yep."
And they will always be stuck like that. I can't. But
Stupid.
they get mad. It's like, oh, drag queens, like they shouldn't be going to schools and reading to children. Okay. They're kindergartners.
Yeah. They you know what when a kindergartner looks at, a drag queen, they just see, like, a Disney princess, like,
Yeah,
literally, they
honestly,
see the
yeah.
it literally is just, like, probably, like, a Disney princess came to life.
Even a kid that's older, maybe once you get to high school, they would
Yeah.
recognize it. But if a kid were to like a drag queen would walk in like a sixth grade classroom, they're not
Mhm.
going to be like, "That's a man." They're not going to be like questioning their whole.
Maybe the way kids are now, I don't know,
I
with
don't
the whole
know. They're a
iPad
different breed
thing.
now.
But
But
Gen Alpha is a whole different breed.
that's remember, and I was showing you, and it wasn't Gen Alpha related, but I showed you those
That was
posts.
the Gen Z meme with the
Oh,
doctors.
I'm gonna read some of
It
these
just yeah.
because
Wait,
did I
give the
send it?
context. It's like people how people are because now
It's
Gen
from
Z is getting old
BuzzFeed.
enough to have graduated, like,
So
college and everything, so
there was a lady that was saying she had her first experience with a Gen Z doctor. Um, and so these are all the ones that followed suit, and these are so funny. I had
uh-huh.
to get an ultrasound, and my Gen Z ultrasound tech was like, "Girl, your uterus is cute." I felt so bonita.
I
And
felt so sweet.
I had a Gen Z OBGYN, and I told her I got my tubes cut, and she said, "Yes, queen, no more kids." I was dying. I had I had a Gen Z NP at urgent care recently. He was like, "It's probably the flu. How many days do you want me to write you off of work? 5 more?" I was like, "Honestly, give me the whole week."
Yeah, right.
I had a Gen Z nurse tell me in the ICU that my pancreas has left the chat. Still laugh
My
about that.
pancreas loves the chat.
Oh my god, I was crying when I was reading these to you. And
Oh,
my infant daughter had
great.
open heart surgery, and I walked into her two gen nurses dancing and singing her High School Musical 2 songs while giving her a bath. Honestly, not
That's
just
so
that,
relatable.
but
That's so
not even just for the fact that it's High School Musical. Like, if that were me and like I saw my kid's doctor doing that,
uh-huh.
I would be like, "You're the best." Like,
Yeah, well, part of it is like like bedside manner is like a
yes,
big part of going to the doctor, and like if
yeah,
you have like a doctor that's just kind of like I don't know, you going to the doctor is like even me recently going to the GYN, like I know that like nothing's wrong, like I'm good, but like still the experience of going to the doctor is really like it's kind of scary. Like it makes you
yeah,
like anxious, you know what I mean? Like just the experience of it. So like if you have that like if they have that's good bedside manner in my
yes.
opinion. If they can make light of the situation
Oh
and
yeah,
like get on the same level
yeah. And
as like
then,
the patient and like their family, that's great.
hmm and then I have
Because I
a
hate how there'd be people that would see that post, but it's probably it's mostly boomers, probably and older, that would see the post and be like, "Well, that's just unprofessional." I'm like, no.
yeah. And then it says, "I have a Gen Z doctor now." He went over my file and said, "Holy shit, girl, how are you still alive?" And then I love how unserious they are. I got a Gen Z phlebotomist, and she told me she was going to
Uh-huh.
take a second vial of blood so she'd have something for lunch later. And then my
Okay,
first,
nose for autism. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
okay, all right, you ain't slick. And my first Gen Z doctor, I was telling her how I was anxious, and she said she was team Live Laugh Lexapro. And when I tell
I
you,
would I would lose it
I
if I was
lost
in
it.
a that's so
I
crazy.
think that's one of the ones I sent you. I lost it. I was like, "That's so funny." I'm too relatable. Um, and then the last one says, "Had a Gen Z doctor ask if I was morally opposed to lying to my insurance company so we could get a procedure covered. I moved. I miss her daily." Honestly, good for her.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Yep.
There's certain like I've heard that that has to happen to get around some insurance companies because oh my god, these insurance companies are crazy. Can't blame them to
And
do that at all.
I don't know if you saw any of the comments too, um, but one of the comments was, I was dying at this too. Not at the situation, but it was funny. I was in the ER having a stroke, accompanied by violent vertigo, while the docs warmed my bed to get me stable. I started vomiting from the vertigo, and my Gen Z nurse said, 10 points if you can hit the doctor's shoes. And she said, while undergoing the
Imagine you laugh while you're throwing up. Like
but
that would be
but also having a stroke. But she was like, while undergoing the most traumatic
oh
experience of my life, stroking, flopping around, and vomiting, the nurse made me smile, and it 100% made me feel like I was going to be okay. Well, like 10
yeah,
points
see,
if you hit the doctor's
again, I'm
shoes
telling
is.
you.
Uh,
10 points if you hit the doctor's shoe.
and so, like, worst experience she could have so far in her life. But, like, Gen Z is a different breed, and Gen Alpha is even worse. Like, oh my gosh.
I hope it doesn't pivot the other way and they turn, like, boring. Like, I
Oh
hope it's not
god.
that's my fear,
I
is
just,
that they're gonna be, like, more on the boring side because Gen Z is so nuts. Well, I
yes.
mean, millennials, we were crazy, but we were, like, a quiet crazy, and then I think
Yes.
Gen Z just, like, elevated that, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't even know. We'll have to see. I have a niece who's a part of Gen
Oh,
Alpha, so
yep.
I
Mhm.
feel like once they grow up and they're maybe specifically like hopefully like I don't know. I feel like boys would like be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm Gen Alpha." Like I feel like when they're like teenagers, they'll like
They're gonna be like,
use that against their
yeah.
parents.
And the one other one that cracked me up wasn't healthcare related, but it was really funny. Um, First time I met my new Gen Z neighbor, I told her I was in the middle of a divorce, and she said, "Okay, slay."
I love saying slay randomly in a conversation.
Ah,
I've
it's
done it
so
more than
funny.
I've done it by accident, like, at work. Not even the current position that I'm at, but the
Slay.
one before. But
Yep.
the one before, I'll just
Oh
be like,
god,
"Oh,
yep.
okay, slay." Like,
Slay. And then the whole building's on fire. Slay.
"Yes, fire, you burn
Yes,
that
do your
building."
job. It's like no, but it's like the
"Yes,
whole
fire, you burn that building."
I really don't wanna go to work
Ti
today. You do your thing. Um,
Tina Burner, turning the
Tina
Kerner.
Burner.
I stole Lydia's verse. Tina Burner, turning the Kerner.
And I love,
If we ever go to a meet, I'm gonna document this right now because I'm gonna make sure that I do it. If we ever go to a meet and greet for for Lydia P. Collins and be like, "Hey, I just turned the corner,"
and
just like
now I'm
leave.
here and she would be like, "Okay." I feel like she'd die.
Wow.
She would think it's funny. I just
Oh
I
man.
can't. Uh, like, ooh, that was so funny.
Oh god. I have so many. I'm trying to think if there's like other like queer media that we could like be talking about. I mean,
Well,
I
I
have a suggestion.
do I was thinking of, The Fosters,
True.
and I
True.
still I wanna go back and watch it. I stopped
Oh, it's
watching
been
once
years.
I did stop, or once they switched actors, um,
Hmm.
I did stop watching it, but maybe I'll go back.
When they said this is Jake T. Austin, I'm like, no, that's Noah Centineo. I don't know
I
what you're
know,
talking.
and, I love how
He's like
I
taller than him too. Like I just
yeah,
realized like he's taller and looks nothing. Like, I
yeah,
mean, we knew that at the time, but
and they're
they
obviously
tried.
not gonna address it
Right.
on the show, but I feel like they barely addressed it in, like, real life either. They're
Yeah.
just kinda like they just
And
did interviews and did things, and no one ever said, "Oh, he's no longer on the show,"
'cause we
or
don't
he
know. Do we know why that happened? Did we ever find out why
I
that
think they
happened?
said he was, like, going to take a job at some other, like, TV show, then I heard that
Okay.
TV show flopped
Oh,
or something, or, like, it
well,
never made it, like, past a certain point, but I could be wrong. But
it need turned the corner. Sorry. Sorry.
oh, no.
I had to it was right there. I had to do it.
It's just gonna be us
Oh
laughing for,
man.
like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, but I did
God.
like the Fosters, and I think
True.
they did a good job representing, um, lesbian, couples.
Yes.
Um,
That was the only queer, right, in the show? I mean, as far as I knew. I don't know if they ever
yeah, I
showed.
mean, I don't know it past that, if
I
they
gotta
did
rewatch it.
anything, um, but another show that I think did queerness very poorly, was Glee,
Oh,
and I love Glee. It was one of those shows that was, like, bad and good at the same time, and
yeah.
I was obsessed and
I
watched
wanna watch it now. I should we should probably make a series of
yep,
me just, like, watching it now and be like, "Here's what you." No, 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 we should have,
"Here's
like, a
what you
segment of the
missed."
pod. "Here's
Yeah.
what you missed on Glee," and it's
Yes.
just I bring up unhinged things that I find.
Yes. So,
I
like,
feel like if I watched it now, it'd be a good time.
watch the 1st season, and we'll do it by season,
Uh-huh.
because there's too
Uh-huh.
many, but,
True.
they did I think if they could have been done so well, because during that time, and I think it was, like, the early or, like, mid-2000s? Trying to remember when it was on. Um, let's see. 2009 is when it first aired. So, like, they could have done for that time, like, they could have done it so well, but it was just done very poorly. And they had so Chris Colfer was Kurt Hummel. He was gay.
Mhm.
It was very clear that he was gay, but he was not. He was in the closet for a little bit. I know
A
there are
lot of
some.
times he is similar. I would look at his character and be like, "Oh, he's dressed like what's his name from High School Musical? Ryan
Yeah,
from High School Musical." They
and
gave
like
him
the
like that
thing,
type of wardrobe.
and the thing was, it's like obviously there are some people that are just like that. But it always felt like in the very beginning he was just not too gay because it just can't really be too gay, but it was just too over the
They made
top.
him like a star. They made him like a
A
stereotype,
stereotype,
like
like he there was
ganjaestranja.com. Like
his
yes, mama boots down the house, like
yes,
ooh, like yeah,
yes, like 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 you said,
like just
Ryan
every
from
second, like yes, mama God, like
yes,
every
like
yeah,
he had a skincare routine. He had his outfits did remind me of Ryan that were just over the top. They
yeah.
did
And
there
that is
were
a shame because they everybody with High School Musical, I remember them talking about it years later. Like they were like everybody basically like agreed, like, oh yeah, Ryan is gay, and then like it was Disney that was like not like
yes.
Kenny Ortega's an
Oh
out
yeah.
gay man, so he was fine with like doing that, but then Disney was giving the pushback. But
Yeah.
yeah, if that would have been made now, he's like, oh yeah, there would have been no debate.
Oh
He's like,
yeah.
the guy that played him was like, I probably wouldn't want to played him if they were like being open about it. He's like, I would rather that role go to like a queer
Yeah.
actor.
Mhm.
He said, but like, yeah, it was definitely just Disney that was doing the pushback, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah. Makes
great.
sense.
Now they want to have like token representation now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure.
And then yeah, and so he was just he had a skincare routine. His outfits were
Yeah.
over the top. There was an episode because it's the Glee Club, so every week they would do different musicals or songs. So they had a Lady Gaga week, and then all the jocks were complaining, we can't do Lady Gaga. So they split it between like Lady Gaga and Kiss. So the guys
Oh,
can do, obviously, I think it was Kiss, um, which is also kind of, you would think the guys would not be okay with that with all the makeup, but
yeah.
he
I
they
mean,
were they were like, oh, we have to do something like the guy. You can't just make us do all the girl stuff. But obviously,
yeah.
Kurt was gay, so he was fine. So he would dress like Lady Gaga and just
Yes.
get bullied for it. But it was like so over the top where it's like, all right, like we know he's
Yeah.
gay and it's very clear, like it was just overdone. And then there
Yeah, like
was,
they were just like, remember? Knock knock.
yeah, all of a sudden he's in his
Well,
basement
this
doing
is
a full
also Ryan
skincare
Murphy,
routine.
so
Yeah.
this is Ryan Murphy, so I'm not
Oh yeah.
surprised.
And then
It's just
obviously, um, they had I forget her, Alex something. Um,
Alex from. Are we still
Alex,
talking about Glee?
yeah, Alex Newell. Um,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. So they played Unique Adams on Glee, and I think she was on the Glee project. I think maybe, where they had that show where they can basically just it's like a singing competition, and then if they won, they would appear in episodes of Glee. But she was like a transgender queer person on the show.
Okay.
Um, and like they did that okay, but like they still they could have done it so much better.
True.
I don't know.
I was about to say, didn't they also have like a queer thing with like Santana
Yeah,
and
that I
Brittany?
didn't mind as much, although that
Yeah.
still could have been done better. But Santana was your token like dates every guy there is.
Yeah, one of them was bisexual, and then the other one, or were they both bi? What did it
Uh,
end up being? Was one
I think they're technically both bi. Um,
okay?
but Santana was your typical like cheerleader that dates the jocks.
Okay.
And then Brittany was the same way. Although Brittany like never really cared, I don't think. But they showed
Yeah.
her dating all the guys too, and then they fell in love with each other. Um, but
But they state that Santana's a lesbian, so they say like her when she was dating all the
yeah, so
guys,
I
it was like
guess
it was like her like overcompensating for like,
yeah,
hey,
for
look, I like guys, like like
yeah,
it was overcompensating, and then it says they got married on the show.
yep, they did. Yeah,
Oh.
towards the end. Um, and then so Kurt's character, he gets bullied by one of the jocks.
Mhm.
And he gets shoved into a locker in the like the gym locker rooms. Then he kisses him. Then the jock's like secretly gay in the class.
Mm.
Um, and then what I never understood either. So he ends up going out with Blaine Anderson, who is what's his face? Um,
I know the name. I can't think of it. His picture literally just came up.
Darren Chris.
Darren Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going out with Darren Chris. There was like a whole fallout or whatever. So there was like a brief moment in time where they were not with each other. They end up married too. But at one point in the future, when they're like adults, Blaine gets with the guy that bullied Kurt for being gay.
Really.
And like, granted, that guy at that point in time is like out and proud and he's fine.
Uh huh.
But like, I I don't know. Like, why would you go back? Even if that guy is not the same way anymore, like, why would you go back to the guy that openly like abused your boyfriend for being gay?
Messy.
And
That's
granted,
messy.
he's like better now because he's living his true self.
Yeah.
But like,
But like,
that still doesn't
mm,
take away all the trauma.
yeah.
And that only happened
That's
for like
wild.
2 episodes, and then
I
they're
definitely need
back
to
together.
watch
Yeah,
Cleveland.
it's wild. The most wild thing is Mr. Shu. Like, he no, I don't even know how to describe him. I
I've seen tier list of cringy things that he's
yep.
done on his show. Like it was somebody just I need to find the actual YouTube video, but it was like me ranking things on Glee that Mr. Shu did
Oh,
that made me cringe or something
yep.
like that. And I've seen the thong song
Oh,
thing.
oh, which is another
And
thing.
for
And
some
again,
reason,
Glee
the
is
even the funniest part of it was, like, I had no context of the scene, right? And then they show him, like, singing, and then they pan to the girl that he's singing to, and she's in a wedding dress, so I'm
oh
like,
yes.
"Why are you being
So
serenaded at the
here's
wedding?"
what, and
I
I'll
was
give
just
you the
like,
con. Do you want the context for it?
"Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I
so
do."
Mr. Shu is um a Spanish teacher. Why is he a Spanish teacher? I don't know. He's a Spanish teacher that takes on the Glee Club. He was also in the Glee Club. The redheaded girl in that scene, she's the guidance counselor. Her name's Emma.
Right, right. Okay, I knew
Emma,
that. I did
yes,
know that she was the guidance
yeah.
counselor, go
So
on.
Emma's majorly in love with Mr. Shu, but he's married. So
Well,
she, which makes it worse when you're thinking about the scene, but she's majorly in love with him. You can tell they love each other, but he's married, so he's not. That's the whole thing. So he's not
okay.
gonna go down that road yet.
Right.
She
Yet.
obviously knows,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
She obviously knows that like she's not gonna ever be with him because he's married. So then
Uh-huh.
they have the football coach who's like this big jock who like, not to be rude to the actor, it's just the character, but he looks disgusting. He looks like he doesn't shower because he's your typical like Jude. He loves Emma.
Typical
Emma,
dude, did you say?
dude,
Okay.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
and like Emma clearly doesn't love him, and he knows that Emma's not going to love him, but they're going to get married anyway, right? Or they're going to get married.
Oh,
He proposes, she says yes, even though despite the fact that they don't love each other. But I guess it beats being alone. I don't know.
yeah.
So
Man, somebody needs to let Ryan Murphy just let him make unhinged, like, romantic comedies. That way he doesn't
yes,
have to span these ideas out,
he
like,
can use as
with
many
5
sex
seasons of his
scenes
show.
as he wants, and it won't be weird.
No, no, I need this to happen just to make him just unhinged, like, romantic
Yeah.
comedies like
Yes,
this.
and so they're getting married, and they're talking to Mr. Shu at lunch, and
Mhm.
Emma wants this for their first dance song. Emma wants this like really romantic, normal wedding song, but I forget his name. Whoever she's marrying wants the thong song,
Oh,
and so and this is during the episode where he's doing a mashup week. So he was like, "Well, I'm gonna find a way to like mash up these two songs together, like I'm doing for
right.
the Glee Club." So Emma was like, "Well, I need help practicing," and he said, "Well, you should practice in your dress because that's what you're dancing in." And so I guess they stay after work late, and they're going into the one classroom and they're dancing to the thong song, and she's in her dress, and why Santana and Brittany are in the background staring at them through the window, I don't know. That was a choice. But they're doing the thong song, and he's like swinging her around, and he's like on the floor, like ruffling her dress.
Yeah,
It's a mess. But that's what you missed. Ugly.
that's what you missed on Glee.
So now you really
Alright.
do need to watch Glee.
No, I really
It's
yeah, I do.
it's the most unhinged and
And maybe I can be rewatching, Scream Queens at the same time for, like,
uh
a palate cleanser, you know?
you're gonna need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, n no, I literally
but I will say the one thing I did like about Glee, they had a lot of famous people as guest stars.
Really?
They
Oh,
had
okay.
Christian Chenoweth, Idina Menzel, Gwyneth
I can't
Paltrow.
imagine what they're singing in that episode. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, because you said Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel.
No, they didn't actually sing. Wait, or they didn't sing.
They had to sing songs from Wicked at some point, though.
I don't think they did.
Really?
Maybe
Oh.
Idina Menzel
I
did.
would've thought they would've at least got Defying Gravity in there somehow.
They did, but they didn't sing it. People from Glee did.
Oh.
Um,
Well, that's what I mean, like, somebody in Glee, like,
yeah, but
covering the songs.
yes. And then Gwyneth Paltrow was in it, and she was singing "Do You Want to Touch" to the students without their teacher
Oh.
present.
Mm.
Yep. Yep.
You know what phrase I think I'm gonna be using a lot watching this? Again, using another quote from Drag Race, but, Tatiana in All Stars 2 going, "Choices."
Choices. Love
Choices.
it. Choices. Hmm. And going back to reading, when her read
Um,
towards Alaska, when she was like, I totally get it. Like, I listened to your song Anus, like, I totally get it. Because that's what my anus does after eating Mexican. Choices.
yeah, choices.
uh, but
Mm.
Glee's should be one of our next ones to talk about. It's
Yeah, it
wild.
has to be. I mean, I gave, maybe, like, preview into, I mean, this isn't, like, it's not an official holiday, obviously, but, um since you there's been the phenomenon of Christmas in July, like that whole thing,
Oh, yeah.
now people are like, "Well, what about Halloween?" Because, like, it gets to the middle of the year and then you're like, "I miss, like, Halloween, I miss, like, spooky stuff or
Hmm.
whatever." So now somebody it's become a trend on, like, TikTok, but somebody made, like, a term of, like I think there could be a better term because it sounds kinda funny, but they called it Summerween.
Summerween. Yep.
And I mean the official like the day that they made it's actually it's a reference from I don't know if you ever heard of the show Gravity Falls,
Yep. Hmm.
but it says it was popularized by the Disney animated series Gravity Falls, and then now it's just become like a trend on TikTok for it to take place on June 22nd. So
Ah,
we'll definitely be doing something for that. Wink,
yes.
wink.
Yes. I
And then
have.
what else we got? Do you
I
have a
did.
Facebook memory?
Yeah, and I don't, for some reason, I haven't had a lot lately, but this is the one that I could find. So,
Okay.
what day is it? So yesterday, so June 11th, 2011.
Okay.
In any language, I'm awesome. That's it.
Nice. You had to let them know.
And someone said, and humble too. So, there you go.
And humble too. They're like, "She's so humble."
Wow.
I'm crying. Good. I'm trying to see if I have any. I don't think I do though. Let's see. I mean, this is just like nostalgia on top of nostalgia. On June 19th of 2012, I posted a status that says Nickelodeon's trying to bring back Figure It Out. my childhood.
Oh,
So I guess they did try to
they
bring it
did.
back at
They
one.
did
Yeah,
re
I remember they did,
yeah.
but I don't know if I watched it that much because I don't remember it was like on the newer like
Yeah,
version of
I
it.
do remember. I think the cast of Victorious was on it, so I think
Oh, okay.
Ariana was probably on a few episodes,
Probably
and
like
like Liz
iCarly then
Gillies.
too,
Yep.
maybe.
Um, but I didn't watch it as much
Yeah,
as
figure it out.
um,
I
uh,
definitely watched the like the
and I
older versions more.
and I think we probably mentioned this a long time ago. Um, but I just specifically remember there was an episode where the kid's talent was biting cheese into different U.S. states.
Yes, yeah. And he was like timed. That's why it was
Yes,
impressive
it was just
because they would put like a literal well because this was like the original Figure It Out came out in the 90s, so like they would like literally set like a stopwatch and show the camera and then they would be like, "All right, 30 seconds." And then they would like hit it and then the
yep,
timer would be like going off. Like they would have like one like digitally in the corner for when you're watching TV. So
yep,
like it was like an intense. It almost made it look like an intense like sporting event. Like this kid
yeah,
like chewing shapes of cheese in like 30 seconds,
yes.
and he's like, "It's Texas,
But
Idaho." Like,
but imagine like the stress that kid was under to make it into Texas.
and then
And you,
also, it's kind of funny. He has to make sure that it's right, like facing the right way. You
oh
know what I mean?
yeah,
Because like he has to worry about like if he chews it, but like if it looks right to him, but if he turns it around, then it's like backwards.
yes. Because like okay, if you
Oh.
do California, it's like all right, but Texas, if you bite it, a one wrong move, and the top of Texas is screwed.
Yeah, I'm about to bring up like a map of the
Yeah.
US. Like, what would be the easiest one to?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a
What would be
lot
the
that are just
easiest?
kind of squares.
True.
Like
So it would
Utah, I
just be
think.
like, imagine you just pick one that's like, what's next to Montana? Like Colorado, and it's just like a square.
Yeah. And then they'd be like,
Can you imagine
ooh,
if they were like Florida and you gotta make all those intricate like I
yeah, Hawaii, and you just
like
gotta fight
mission
out.
like you gotta have 3 dots. They're not
Yeah.
connected though, so I don't know how that would work.
It's like, all right, you got 30 seconds to make Hawaii, and he has like four little like pieces of
No, what
cheese.
about Michigan and you have the like
I'll make it into like,
the lakes in the middle?
yeah, yeah. But I
And
feel like,
Pennsylvania's not bad. Pennsylvania's not bad because you just have it's mostly like a rectangle,
oh,
and
but
then you just have like a little curvature on the side.
Massachusetts is
So
it's kind of has that little curve at the end. But I feel like,
everything southern would be bad too. Like all of the like Florida, like Louisiana, Texas, they're all like
yeah.
pretty
But then you
complicated.
have
New
like,
York's pretty complicated, honestly.
yeah. But then you have Wyoming, Utah, Colorado. They're all kind of the same. So watch them like, all
Uh
right, you gotta make Colorado in like 30 seconds. He makes them like, ooh, sorry, that's Wyoming.
huh.
It's like they literally look the same, but
Yeah, one is just wider than the other.
like,
That's the
ooh,
only difference. Oh wow, what a talent! Can you imagine just going to your parents and being like, "I do this really good. Like, I want to go on a TV show and do
they were
this."
auditioning for they have auditions for this TV show with talent. It's like, what can you do? I can pogo stick. It's like, okay, I don't think that counts. But
I
then you
think a
have,
lot of times though, probably the maybe the kids weren't aware, and like I feel like it might have been like the parents are like
oh yeah,
signing them up.
the mom just saw her kid eat cheese one day. I was like, oh, she's like, this is your talent. He was like, I'm just trying to eat my lunch.
Oh my god!
I gotta go revisit. I gotta see if those shows are on anywhere.
If they're up, they'd probably be on. Well, Paramount has all of the like Nickelodeon, like Viacom, like
Oh, that's
properties,
true.
so it'd probably be on Paramount Plus, or you can also watch Drag Race.
True. Where does it? Oh no, it's not. Oh, the
Is
2012
it
ones.
not?
12,
Oh,
20.
okay.
Wait. Okay. When I. Now I gotta.
Are we calling it there? What
Yes.
do you think?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, it's happy. I gotta find that meme where it's like I think it's a like a Queen like made the meme and she was like doing the same thing like when the girl was like Happy Christmas. It's
Oh yes,
Christmas. But she was like Happy Prid Month. It's Prid Month.
yes.
Happy Merry Priceless, Merry Chrysler. And I
I
was
know.
like, me too.
I gotta see. Yeah, wishing while the homophobes a super transformative educational month, a chance to put down their prejudice, listen, and develop empathy. That's a good one. Not what I thought
Fucking
it was.
amen.
Oh, here, this one is
Still,
just
it's so
rain.
good. I mean, I have the one that's like wishing all the homophobes a super uncomfortable
Yes,
month.
that's the one I was trying to find. Yes.
Yes, because it's true. Because it's not affecting your life, and if you're getting that worked up about it, number one, you're lame.
Uh huh.
Number two, you're lame. And number three, you might be hiding something about yourself. You know,
Yes. Also, there's this
just
T-shirt
think
that
deep down inside, why are you getting that upset?
yeah,
You know?
and there's this T-shirt that says "Happy Pride Month." Homophobes can die mad about it.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah.
Yep. But what do we got?
So
We
check us
got
out. We got all the socials. We have a bunch of them. What do we have?
YouTube,
Yep.
um, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and then we're also on Spotify and Apple
And Apple
Podcasts. Yep.
Podcast. And check us out. We're gonna have some more. Now we'll have a Glee series on the way
Yes.
for sure.
And a
Oh
series
man.
on Scream Queens because again, I know we talked about it in the Ryan Murphy episode, but that he did good on that.
No, it deserves a whole
It's
episode on its own. We'll be deep diving for sure.
he did good with that show. I will
Yeah.
say. But
Maybe
yes.
horror comedy would be where he would thrive
Yep.
because of like his sense of humor.
Yep.
Maybe he should try that because I mean, hey, some of the best like horror movies that I've ever seen have been horror comedy because it's
Yes.
just to me, it's just such a funny
It is.
dynamic. Like
Yes.
things are going like really scary and you're running through your life from a killer or whatever, but then somebody's like, "Hey," and they make like a stupid fucking joke or like
Yes.
there's some dumb gag like in the background or
Oh yeah,
something.
like all the scary movie
Yeah.
parodies
Uh-huh.
were always so funny and it will always get me. And I think it's the third one where they have the white guy and he's a parody of Eminem.
Yeah.
And so I love it and because he goes in there and he's doing the rap battle and he wins and then he flips up his hood and it's pointed. And then you just see him like getting chucked out the window and he like goes flying. So, so funny.
Ah, it's so good. So again, check us out on our socials. We got
Yes.
some more good content coming your way.
Mhm.
And catch up on all the if this is your first episode, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Happy Prid Month. Happy
Yeah.
Prid Month.
Merry
But
Christmas.
catch up to
Yes.
Mary Priceless.
Mary Pridester.
Catch up on all our past episodes and join us every week. We have a good time here.
Yep. Yes, we do.
A lot of tangents, but a lot of fun,
Yes, yes. That's what makes
as it
us
should be.
the best.
Hmm. You know it.
Hmm.
So catch you guys in the next one.